Hello and welcome to your weekend stimulus package and stimulus check update. Today we have more information for those who have not yet received their first stimulus check. We have some great news with the Paycheck Protection Program, which I cannot wait to give to you guys. And I'm switching it up a little bit at the end of this video. I'm covering an entirely new topic. Oh, and I have a piece of news personally. This channel has done amazingly well over the past few months, and it's honestly makes me a little bit speechless. We're getting closer and closer to 100,000 subscribers, and I've decided to have a little bit of fun with this. And if we can get this channel to 100,000 subscribers by June 6th, which is 2 weeks from today, I will donate $1,200, aka a stimulus check's worth, to a charity of your guys' choosing and post it on this channel. So if you haven't subscribed already, now is the time to do it. Tell a friend to subscribe, grab your mom's phone and subscribe her, tell your priest, whatever you gotta do. If we hit $100,000 by June 6th, I'll donate $1,200 to any charity of your guys' choosing. So let's get right into the news. On my last video, several people asked for more information on the first stimulus payment. I haven't been talking about this much because, well, first, most people have received their payment already. 93% of people, according to the IRS, that's just what they're saying. I know a lot of people are saying they haven't received it yet. That's their data. And second, I don't want to be a broken record saying the same things over and over every day, so I try to only repeat things when it's to give context for something new that's happening. That being said, I did some digging and do have some first stimulus payment news for those who haven't received their payment yet. If you have already, I won't be offended if you skip ahead a minute and skip this part. So the Social Security Administration said that its beneficiaries should begin receiving their payments way back in April. Then again last week, they said if you haven't received your payment yet, the rest of them are being sent out as soon as possible. Well, as we're seeing, many of those recipients still haven't received a payment yet, which they should have. The only thing the Social Security Administration really has to say about all this is basically, hey, the IRS is the one facilitating this. If you have a problem, go ahead and call them. We can't do anything. The IRS has a hotline number, but if you've tried calling in the last week, you probably haven't reached anyone. And for everyone who's gotten mad at me because the IRS didn't pick up the phone, don't get mad at me. I'm not sitting at the IRS call center personally rejecting all of your calls. It's not me doing it. I just gave the phone number that they provided. The IRS is now saying that Social Security beneficiaries may receive their payment either in the account they typically receive their benefits in, that's what they were saying in the first place, but now they might receive them also in the mail, or some of these beneficiaries may be part of the 4 million Americans who are due to receive the stimulus debit cards. So you can receive it in all different forms and ways and whatever. So beyond this, there really isn't any specific guidance. I would recommend checking that Get My Payment tool every once in a while to make sure to see if there's any status changes on that. Take a look at your most recent tax return if you did file taxes, because they're gonna mail that check to that address if they are mailing you a check. That's kind of all we have on that. In a little bit of better news, VA beneficiaries seem to be having far fewer hiccups in receiving their payments, with nearly all of them having been sent out earlier this month, and most of those beneficiaries have received those stimulus payments. I'm glad to see that we have some good news, at least for the veterans on this end, and I hope to see payments for the Social Security recipients sent and received as soon as possible. So let's get on to some paycheck protection news. You know, last week, with such low numbers that we had, I've been hesitant to look at the paycheck protection and the EIDL funding numbers. It was just honestly so frustrating. It was so disappointing. So, however, I finally brought myself to look at these numbers, did some more research. I took a look at them today, and needless to say, I was pleasantly surprised. The National Federation of Independent Business stated that between 80 and 90% of applied businesses have received paycheck protection funding. This is so huge, and honestly, makes me so happy to hear that these businesses are receiving funding. It makes sense because I'm getting a lot less comments from people saying, I haven't received my funding yet. So that's obviously a good sign. Here's some more stats that the NFIB gave. They said that 54% of owners with a paycheck protection loan are expecting all of their expenses to be forgiven. That's good. That's actually higher than what I would expect. 28% find it somewhat difficult to maintain or return their pre-crisis workforce level. Nearly 75% of small business borrowers find the terms and conditions of the paycheck protection loan difficult to understand. If you're one of those people, go check out my video on it. I break down literally the entire loan forgiveness process. I spent like 6 to 7 hours on the video on that, so check that out. Then finally, 12% of borrowers report that spending the paycheck protection loan within an 8-week forgiveness period is very difficult. And this brings me to the next piece of paycheck protection news. There's been a lot of support on both sides to extend the 8-week forgiveness period to something like 12 to 24 weeks. We're probably going to see it right around 16 weeks. The issue is that many businesses aren't even open yet. They received the paycheck protection loan and they're going to be closed for more than 8 weeks, rendering that funding basically useless. So this system is just so odd to me. I'm not sure where that 8-week window even came from. Why do they even do it this way? Why wouldn't they just have the small businesses apply for the PPP loan just as we all did, and then whatever loan amount you're approved for is a grant if it's spent on the right things, and then there's just no time frame to spend it all, or maybe make it like a 1-year time frame so it's not an issue for anyone. My business is open and I'm running into this issue because where the economy's at, we're slower now than my average payroll was last year, so that means I'll likely need to return like 20% of my loan, but if I were able to use it longer than 8 weeks, I would eventually spend that and it would just go to my employees. So it just seems like it makes sense just to extend that window or do away with the window, whatever they decide. So that rant aside, we were due for a vote to extend this on Thursday evening, and all day was expected to go through, and it had bipartisan support. Everyone wanted it, but it didn't get passed. And now we're on the week-long Memorial Day break. However, we might still have a sliver of hope here. Chairman of the Small Business Committee, Marco Rubio, and the leadership there are trying to find out if any senators objected to passing the bill to extend this period, and they're seeking the Senate to pass it during a pro forma session on either Tuesday or next Thursday, aka like a quick Senate session just to get this passed and get that window extended. Marco Rubio said it's going to pass, it's just a matter of how long it takes to pass. Basically, they need to call all the senators' offices and get confirmation that the senators aren't objecting to it, which can take some time. But despite the delay on this, it is looking extremely promising. I don't want to say anything is a sure thing until it's done, but this seems to be about as close to a sure thing as possible. This would mean much, much more potential loan forgiveness to many businesses and much more payroll, much more funding to individuals as a byproduct of that. So this would be a huge measure. I mean, like I said, just for myself, that is the potential to get 20% more of my funding out to my employees. So I'm surely gonna have more information on this in the coming week, and I'll be excited to update you guys on that. And this is all I have on the Paycheck Protection Program for today. And then I decided to switch it up a little bit. And let's cover a little bit of stock market news. We'll make this real quick. The past week, the stock market was all over the place, especially with new numbers showing that over 38 million Americans have recently filed for unemployment, and the delinquencies in home mortgages increased by a record 1.6 million in April, putting the delinquency rate at 6.45%. Kind of troubling news on that. And the Dow Jones was down 102 points or 0.4%, while the S&P 500 closed down 23 points or 0.8%. So despite the small decline this week, the market is actually still up 27.9% since March 23rd, which, believe it or not, makes it the strongest bear market rally in the last 75 years. So that's pretty interesting. But something even more interesting to consider is, well, the markets sank dramatically in the last couple months, and many people snatched up cheap stocks, I mean, myself included, to attempt to capture the market while it's down. However, not everyone feels we've hit the bottom yet. Warren Buffett, maybe you've heard his name before. He's famous for having this massive buying discipline and a huge stockpile of cash right now to buy up any cheap stocks. Said a couple weeks back that he has not gone on any huge buying sprees yet because there hasn't been anything that attractive yet for him. And he's very fearful for the market in the short term. He thinks that it could go down even lower yet. And actually, Buffett even sold off all of his airline portfolio at a multi-billion-dollar loss, fearing that it would only go down further, and there's no point in him keeping his investment in the airlines. So we have people on both sides of this. We have the buy now, this is the best time to buy crowd, and then we have the hold off a little while longer, it might go even lower crowd. Whatever happens here is sure going to be interesting. So if you guys would like me to incorporate more stock and investing news into my updates, let me know. I find it fascinating. I'll enjoy doing it. Let me know in the comments. Until next time, I would like to thank each and every one of you for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.